Hai, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Apa kabar semua? Harap-harap semua dalam keadaan yang sehat dan sejahtera. So, today we will continue our chapter in multimedia subject, which is chapter number 8, making multimedia. Making multimedia. So, make sure you have your slides in front of you to refer as if I'm giving this lecture. Alright? Okay, so as an overview for this chapter, okay, there are two overview that will be covered. Okay, the first one is the stages of a multimedia project, and the second one is the requirement for a multimedia project. Two overview for this subject. The first one is stages of multimedia project, and the second one is requirement for a multimedia project. Right? So let's start with the first thing. Okay, stages of multimedia project. Stages of multimedia project. There are 4 stages that will be go through by the multimedia team. The first one is planning and costing. The second one is design and production. The third one is testing, and the fourth one is delivery. Okay, so what is stage number 1, which is planning and costing? Okay, the first one, planning and costing. So what will happen in this stage? Okay, the first thing is the need of a project are analyzed by outlining its messages and objective. Okay, a plan that outlines the required multimedia expertise are prepared. Okay, a graphic template, a structure, and navigational system are developed. The next thing is the time estimated and the budget are prepared, and the last one is a short prototype or proof of concept is prepared. So in these stages, planning and costing, normally team will analyze and by outlining what kind of messages for this project, what are the objective of the project that they want to develop. Okay, after they have they clearly understand what are the messages that need to be sent from the client to their audience, okay, and then they will start to the next stage. And still in planning and costing, a plan that outlines the required multimedia expertise is prepared. So it will outline what kind of expertise that are needed for that project. Okay, there are sometimes in one project, maybe they just need 2 or 3 expertise, but in other project, maybe they need more than that. So it depends on the level of difficulties of the project and also what type of project that they want to develop. Okay, and next thing, a graphic template, structure, navigational system are developed, meaning that they will create a graphic template. Okay, this project, okay, what will the project look like after they finish developing? So they need to analyze on the early stage, planning and costing. This is very, very important. And then the time will be estimated, meaning that how long they will estimate for this project to complete. Is it 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, and 1 year? It also depend on the scale of the project and the level of difficulties of the project. And the last one in planning and costing is short prototype or proof of concept. Okay, usually, this prototype or proof of concept is very, very important, especially when your client does not have the IT background, meaning that they are not really IT savvy. They do not know how things works. And for example, if you are creating a database and for one company, or maybe you creating a website, an inventory system, for example. So for those who have the experience in using the system, then there should be no problem. But what if your client doesn't have any experience at all in using computer? So they do not know, they can't understand, they can't imagine, they can't visualize what will they do with the system. So the prototype is the best method, is the best approach to make sure that your client know what are they dealing with. So this is very important for company to set up a prototype or proof of concept. And this prototype, okay, actually it looks like a finished product, but normally the function is not all there. It's just a simple navigation from this page to this page. If you click this button, what will happen? Okay, and that's it. Okay, this is just prototype. It looks like a real system, but it's not finished yet. Okay, so again, this is very important, especially for if your client doesn't have any IT background. Next, after we finish on the planning and costing stage, we will move to the next stage, which is design and production. So in this stage, okay, the plan tasks are performed to create a finished product. Okay, the plan tasks are performed to create a finished product. Remember, the plan task, meaning that the task that has been planned, that has been confirmed in the planning stage. So during the planning stage, you have planned every single thing. So in design and production, you just execute what you have planned on the planning stage. That's why we call it design and production. And the product is revised based on the continuous feedback received from the client. Okay, this is very important to get a continuous feedback from your client. Meaning that after some stage, maybe after you have finished 20% of your product, of the system that you want to develop, you need to show to your client, okay, is this what you want? How about the color? Is it okay with you guys? Okay, if then you need to get a feedback from them. If they say, okay, this is what we want, okay, you can proceed, and then the development team will continue their work. Okay, will continue their work to develop. The third stage is testing. Okay, the program is tested to ensure that it meets the objective of the project and work on the proposed delivery platform. And the most important part is it meets the user requirement or your client requirement. Okay, when you as a developer, no matter if you are using the high-end software, if you are using the high level of coding, but if your client are not happy with it, okay, it's sort of your product is not a quality product. Okay, but if you're just using a simple editor, for example, who knows, maybe you just edit your system, or when you creating your website for your client, you just edit using Notepad only. But if the product that you produce makes your clients happy, then it can be considered as a good quality product. So mostly it all depends on your client whether they are happy or not with your product. So you guys as a team developer need to ensure that you meet the client requirement. Okay, the fourth stage is the delivery. The final product is packaged and delivered to the end user. So how are you going to deliver to your end user? Nowadays there are so many types, there are many methods that can be used. Whether you can send it through DVD, or maybe you just upload it to the net and to the server. There are many methods. There are various methods that you can use to deliver your product to your client. Okay, now we move to the requirement for a multimedia project. Okay, in this part, okay, it will cover three things. The first one is hardware. The second one is software, and the third one is creativity and organizational skills. Okay, the first one is hardware. So what is hardware? Okay, this is the most significant platform for producing and delivering multimedia project are Macintosh and Microsoft Windows. So there are two most popular platform in the sense of operating system, which is Macintosh and Windows. So you guys and the team developer can choose which platform that they want to use. Because why? Because this system provide an easy to use graphical user interface. Whether it's a Windows or Macintosh, okay, it provide easy to use GUI, graphical user interface. And the Macintosh as well, a Windows PC, okay, it offers a combination of affordability and software and hardware availability. But of course, between these two, okay, the Macintosh platform is better suited for multimedia production compared to the Windows platform. But on the other side, okay, if you are using Windows, it is easier for us to mix and match the device. Okay, when we are using Apple, the Macintosh or Apple product, okay, as you know, when you are using Macintosh as the MacBook, okay, it's quite challenging for us to upgrade to a better version, to a higher hard disk, for example, or a graphic card. But because we need to use the same thing that been provided by Apple. Other than like Windows, we can mix and match basically anything that being offered on the market. The hardware platform by the Apple are better equipped to manage both sound and editing video. Okay, this is about Mac. Okay, yes, Mac it does provide the better equipped to manage both sound and video editing. But Windows, we can also do that as long as we know what are the hardware that we need to be included in our machine. Okay, next is software. So multimedia software provides specific instruction to the hardware for performing tasks, and software tools are divided into production tools and authoring tools. And there are two things: production tools and authoring tools. So authoring tools that always be used by team development. And if we are creating a website, okay, maybe the editor you can use Adobe Dreamweaver, and then one of the example for to edit a web page. And what else? If you want to create a video project, maybe you can use Adobe Premiere, Final Cut Pro, Sony Vegas, and so on. Right? So that are the example of authoring tools. Okay. And the third thing is creativity and organizational skills. So what are the things that will be covered in this part is, in the multimedia project, being creative implies knowledge of hardware and software. Yes, okay, you need to be creative in choosing your hardware and software. So it is essential to develop and organize and the outline detailing the skills, time, budget, tools, and the resources needed for the project. So you, as a team development, especially for project manager, they need to have this expertise or this knowledge. Okay? Assets such as graphic, sound, and the like should be continuously monitored throughout the project execution. So project manager or any people that responsible to take care of this thing, they need to check all the time about all the assets that they have, such as graphics, sound, and so on, because this is very, very important, because all this graphics, sound, and all the asset, it's very important to the team development, because they might need it, or maybe they can use it on the next project, or maybe on the currently project that they are working with. So they need to take care of this asset. It's very, very important. Just imagine when they are using the one raw material, okay, and suddenly when they are using that raw material, suddenly something bad happened to the raw material, it gone, crash, or anything. So how or what will happen to the project that currently use that raw material? It will give a hard time to the developer, and it will consume more time, and it will consume more money, because the more time you are required for for the team development to finish the project, the more money they need in order to make everything run smooth. And again, and the last one in creativity and organizational skill is a standardized file naming procedures should be followed for precise organizational and swift retrieval. Okay, standardized file naming procedure. Okay, maybe maybe for students in university, when you are studying, maybe your project in your laptop maybe 1 or 2 only. But in the real world, one software house, one company, okay, they might have been built a lot of system, maybe 100, 200 system for their client. So how are they going to recognize, okay, this file is for which company, this file is for which project, this file is for which project, okay, this file for what are the purpose of this page, what are the purpose of this file. So we need to have the standardized file naming procedure. For example, let's say one team, okay, they want to develop a system for what? For our inventory system. Okay, let's say inventory system. So normally, or if we want to use a standardized file naming, remember these standardized file naming are for precise organizational and swift retrieval. Swift retrieval. So it will make things easier for the developer to know, okay, this page, what are the purpose? Okay, again, let's say we are developing the inventory system for it. So in the inventory system folder, of course, we have many files. So how are we going to name the files? Again, remember precise organization and swift retrieval. These are the two reasons why we need this standardized file naming procedure. Okay, so let's say in inventory folder, so we are going to have a lot of files. So maybe if we want to make things easier for us as a developer, okay, we need to name the files accordingly to its function. Example, if the page is for login page, so we name it inventory underscore login. What else? Okay, if we want to add item, so we will name the file inventory underscore add item. What else? If you want to update the stock in inventory underscore add stock. So meaning that just by looking at the names of the file, we know what are the purpose of that file. So it will make things easier for us. Okay, just imagine. Okay, for you students, I believe in your laptop, okay, you will have a lot of folders according to your education. Let's say if you are in semester 2 or semester 3. Okay, let's say you are in semester 3. So basically, you will have 3 folders: Sem 1, Sem 2, Sem 3. And in each of the semester folder, you will divide you will create a new folder according to the subject. Subject A, subject B, subject C. Am I right? So it will make things easier for you guys to manage all your files. See? And just imagine, you have there are so many Microsoft Words in your laptop. Just imagine if you are not give the name for the files according to the project name or according to the report or whatever you want to do. You just name it 1.docx, 2.docx, 3.docx, and so on. So what will happen to you? Can you retrieve the specific word or the specific document that you want to search? Yes, you can do it. But what about the timing? Of course, it will take more time for you to retrieve the exact document that you want to retrieve. So that's the reason why standardized file naming procedure is important in the organizational, in doing or in development team. Okay, Okay, so we are now at this summary slide, the long-awaited slide by you guys. All right. So to summarize all the points in this chapter, I will make it 2 points. Right. The first one is the basic stages of multimedia project are planning and costing, design and production, testing and the delivery. So remember, there are 4 stages in creating a multimedia project. And the second point to summarize this chapter is knowledge of hardware and software, as well as creativity and organizational skills are essential and for creating a high quality multimedia project. So these are the things that needed for multimedia team to work well or to finish their task that has been given. Okay, so that's it for this chapter number 8. Okay, hope to see you guys again on the next chapter. Okay, bye bye.